Shalom, Kaholo, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elder that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, tabernacle of David, to all the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000, the one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yahshua, I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. I'm going to start right here, 2nd Ezra 16, and woe is me. Woe is me. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me, Esdras, in those days? What days? These days. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, remember that, and great death, the beginning of wars. And the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of the evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? This famine thing, how is it famine? What do you mean famine? Famine is a scarcity of food. It's not people dying of starvation. Maybe, but famine is a scarcity, not no food, but very little and probably very expensive, hard to come by food. How do we get there? Okay, well, let's let the open-minded thinker show 2 hours ago. All right, what is this? Bab al-Mandab Strait. What is that? What is the Strait of Hormuz? What is the what do you call this thing? Where the canal, the Panama, what is the Panama Canal? That's where a lot of money is made, right? That's how those shipping containers with all the food and supplies are able to get to where they're going. And it's a finely tuned operation that if one thing goes wrong, one tiny thing, people can get set back for months. So what do you think is going on now? This is 2 hours ago. Houthis changes tactics, right? What are they doing? They're blocking everything now. Block all ships. First they were like, okay, you can go, you can't go. Right now, what? Biggest operation ever. This is what, what's his name? Scott Ritter said. The Houthis pulled off the biggest military attack or situation in modern history. Okay, this guy, Canadian prepper Nate, calls the Houthis the honey badger of the Middle East. Well, they are over there changing the face of shipping in the world right now. And what is that going to cause? That famine. How's that famine coming? With this. With Bab al-Mandab, Strait of Hormuz, Suez Canal, Panama Canal, right? Who owns the Panama Canal? That's a good question, right? Let's look at that. Who owns, and that, well, of course Panama does. No, they don't. Do they? Let's find out. Who owns? Is it China? Is it the who? Who owns the, look at this, who owns the New York Knicks? That Cat Williams thing must be trending right now. Who owns the, what? Panama? If it says China, you know something. Oh, uh-oh. Look at that. Uh-oh. In 2016, a $900 million deal the China-based Land Bridge Group acquired control of Margarita Island, Panama's largest port on the Atlantic. Why? 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 What? Who owns the Panama Canal right now? Transferred to Panama. Okay, well, says it was given back, right? But what's this China thing? Panamanian government owned Panama Canal Authority. Why did that China thing just pop up? Let's go back and look at that. It's gone now. What is this? 2021. Is this the latest? What does this mean? Okay, and why am I? The point is, China owns a lot of the ports in Babylon the Great. Panama Canal sits, what is this? This is CSIS, Center for Strategic and International Studies. Key decision point coming for the Panama Canal. Published May 21st, 2021, the Panama Canal sits at the nexus of international political and economic concerns. Following the canal's expansion in 2016, the waterway annually registers nearly 14,000 transits of value equal to 6% of global trade. Okay, go ahead and read. The canal's global shipping role has only increased amid the disruption of global supply chains during the CV-19 pandemic and U.S. calls for nearshoring away from China. What? It says the U.S. still remains the top user of the canal in 2019. 66% of cargo traffic transiting the canal began or ended its journey at a U.S. port. Cargo from or destined to China made up of 13% of canal traffic. Okay, so China, let's jump down. China's influence in the Panama Canal has only grown since 2017, when then President Carlos Varela severed diplomatic ties with Taiwan and recognized China, further opening the door to China's expanded footprint in critical canal infrastructure and laying the groundwork for alignment with the Belt Road Initiative. What's that? Okay. So anyway, China's got interest in the Panama Canal. If we're at war with China and they own our ports, right? If they own the ports in Babylon the Great, they own interest in the Panama Canal. They're part of BRICS, right? BRIC, China. Let's play this. Open-minded thinker. Houthis change tactics in Bab al-Mandab Strait.
The Yemeni military's efforts to address the crisis in Gaza by seeking negotiations have shown signs of progress. Their focus on preventing ships from supplying resources to the occupied area and enhancing its military capabilities has resulted in notable changes.
Now let me say this real quick too. If you're controlling those straits and those canals, you're stopping arms from coming in. You can bring them in by airplane, right? But if you're controlling those waters, you're stopping a lot of cargo, a lot of resupplying of ammo and weapons, right? You're at war.
As a result, several major shipping companies have chosen to cease using the Red Sea route for delivering goods to the occupied Palestinian territories. This shift marks a significant development for the people of Gaza, who have faced continuous hardship due to conflicts with the occupying forces. Our commitment to shedding light on stories often overlooked by mainstream media remains firm. We welcome engagement and support in sharing this content to raise awareness. Consider subscribing to stay informed about developments in Palestine. Initially, these shipping companies relied on the collective efforts of the International Coalition for Maritime Safety, led by the United States, to address the Yemeni concerns. However, it has become evident that resolving this issue requires diplomacy and adhering to Yemen's demands to ensure stability in the Red Sea region. Most participating partners have declined suggestions to deploy their ships to secure the vital Red Sea waterways. This stance may have signaled to the United States the importance of urging Israel to halt its bombing campaign in Gaza. Nevertheless, while there have been indications of a changing landscape, the United States still appears hesitant to exert pressure on Israel to cease its actions. Both countries, Israel, regarded by some as an apartheid regime, and the United States, criticized for its support face mounting international.
Slovakia. Let's get through this.
Face mounting international pressure to halt the ongoing conflict. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to the Middle East for consultations reflects concerns about the potential escalation of the Israel-Palestinian conflict into a larger regional crisis. And with the people of Yemen supporting the move by the army, there's increasing need for the USA to act now or never to secure peace in Palestine.
We came out today to confirm our continued support for the Palestinian cause and Gaza in particular. We will not stop doing this, and we don't care about any alliances, as we are carrying out our religious and humanitarian duty. The Security Council was supposed to protect children and women and leave the siege on the Palestinians, but unfortunately it did not do so, and is even trying to prevent that.
So we don't care about coalition, we care about this holy war. This is about Arabs. We coming together.
To support our brothers and our fathers in Gaza. And we will support all the people in Gaza with our blood. All of the Yemeni people.
Meanwhile, U.S. State Department spokesman Matt Miller announced Secretary Blinken's upcoming itinerary, which includes stops in Turkey, Greece, Jordan, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the West Bank, and Egypt. This visit marks Blinken's fourth trip to the Middle East since the Palestinian counteroffensive began on October 7th. Originally scheduled to arrive in Israel at week's end, Blinken's arrival has been postponed to early next week.
Over the course of the next week, the Secretary will visit Turkey, Greece, Jordan, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the West Bank, and Egypt.
During his visit to Israel, Blinken aims to discuss the transition to the next phase, following the recent conflict, focusing on facilitating the return of Palestinians to their homes and neighborhoods as hostilities diminish. However, differing viewpoints exist regarding the motives behind this visit. While the stated purpose is to aid in de-escalating tensions and potentially prevent further conflict in the region by urging Israel to reduce its military activities, concerns persist about the potential destabilization of the Red Sea and broader regional repercussions if Israel continues its bombing campaign in Gaza. Israel's decision to block Palestinians from returning to certain areas in northern Gaza, citing ongoing resistance activities, remains a point of contention. Recent statements from the U.S., including Miller's remarks, signal an escalation in calls for Israel to permit Palestinians return to these areas, especially where homes have been destroyed during the conflict. The international response to developments in the Red Sea region has notably influenced major shipping companies' decisions. For instance, Maersk, a significant shipping company, has opted to avoid the Red Sea route due to security concerns. Following attacks on its merchant ships by Yemeni rebels, Maersk declared its decision to reroute all vessels away from the Red Sea and Suez Canal.
So that has effectively disrupted the supply chain, and everybody's going to feel it, right? And by the time you're feeling it, that war been escalated beyond stoppage. Okay? So everything is just going to continually and gradually and more quickly become worse and worse. All right? Listen to a little more of this.
Instead to navigate around Africa via the Cape of Good Hope due to the current instability and heightened security risks in the region.
Now, we've been hearing this for the past 2 weeks, but guess what? It's getting worse today. What this means is it's not stopping, it's not turning around, it's going to become worse. That's what this means. Okay? We can stop it right here. More of the same. If you want to go back, you should subscribe to this as per the Elder Apostle Tahar, Open-Minded Thinker Show, so you could get, news from the other side. All right, you got to be fair and balanced in this thing. False balance is an abomination to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So anyway, let's get one on the way out. What do we see? What area is this? This is the area of what they call in the Bible the Valley of Yehoshaphat. So let's get that and see what is going on here. The Most High is gathering the troops. Joel 3 and 2. I will gather all the nations, for warming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. So the Most High is showing you an ambush, right? What kind of ambush are we seeing? Well, the Most High doesn't change. It's pretty easy, right? Well, how did he take down Pharaoh? Well, let me name the players. Okay? Moses, Yahweh, the weapons. So Moses leads Pharaoh and his army into the kill zone of the ambush, and that's all she wrote. Well, this is the same thing. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the kill zone. Then he's going to judge them. That's how the Most High wages war. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and sisters, with that, we're going to say shalom.